Well, school is officially back in session, sort of, through remote distance learning going forward now in the curriculum, now that the state has decided that schools cannot reopen for the remainder of the school year. So starting May 4th, the curriculum will be advanced at all grade levels. And what that means is that instead of just simply being on your own, doing enrichment activities, you'll now be guided through some new material that is essential to going forward in the next grade. And what that looks like is mostly using Google Classroom, but also some video lessons that could be pre-recorded, and continuing that outreach that may also be live video chats with teachers and the entire classroom. At the high school level and middle school level, we've seen so far, superintendent and school committee have reported about 50% engagement in the enrichment activities, a little bit more at the elementary school level. So Mathew Janger, the high school principal, in an interview about all things high school, including what's being done potentially for seniors, he admits that this may be a bit of a struggle for students coming in through this now 7 weeks into the pandemic.
We'll be covering new content. There will be expectations about what it is you're supposed to do, and it's not graded, and it does not get academic credit. What it gets is recognition on your transcript. We don't want, however, to penalize a kid or a family who can't participate. You know, school in this situation, more than anything, wants to be a protective factor. When there's a lot of worry and uncertainty in the world and a lot of loss of structure in people's homes, we hope that people will engage. Staying engaged with learning in the community is the best thing for your mental health and the best thing for you in general. Learning and moving forward is good. It's just what we're about. And people want to be prepared next year. If you haven't been actively engaged in school for 6 months, you're going to have a hard time jumping back in again and knowing the material and even remembering the material you knew. It's the sort of thing that unfortunately pulls more on the independence and the resources of the families and the kids. So those of us who are more independent and more able to activate and more able to take advantage can compensate for the lack of individual contact. And those of us who are struggling with that for whatever reason are put more at a disadvantage. And that's been really the hardest part and the most heartbreaking part for us.
What were your priorities in the beginning?
This decision, the decision to send everyone home from school, was fundamentally a response to a national crisis, right? And a crisis that put a lot of kids at risk and made everybody anxious. So the first thing was trying to have sort of communication that gave people a sense of normalcy. And I think one of the unfortunate things about the way this has unrolled for everybody is the fits and starts by which we've gotten the information, and the fits and starts by which we've heard what it is we can do, and the fits and starts by which the teachers have been, we're doing this, and then we're going to try this, and now we're doing that, have made it really difficult for us to say, here's what we're going to do, and this is the plan going forward. We now have a plan, and at least it's a plan until June. But I think we're also sort of wondering in the back of our head what's going to be happening in September. So again, lots of plans sketched out. We can respond as soon as we get a direction, and we're just hoping that the epidemiologists and the policymakers give us a heads up in a timely fashion.
The other thing is about seniors. I saw the nice video that a bunch of school staff participated in, saying, you know, the traditional messages to seniors of go out and conquer the world, but carrying a different weight this day and age, obviously, within a pandemic.
Staff are crushed. They love their students. They love to teach. They care about the seniors. We're just as frustrated as everybody else about not being able to figure out, you know, quickly a way to sort of relive those expectations. There are going to be some version of yard signs and banners and honking cars, and we will do something with caps and gowns. You know, we've got them. We're going to get them out to people. We will get people their diplomas. We will figure out a way to make some sort of a presentation that is meaningful to people.
What would your message be to parents in particular during this uncertain time and the balance of working and kids at home? And you know, the superintendent said before, we need you parents. What's your message?
That we are on their side and we're working really hard to try to make it work, and that we will make adjustments as we go forward. and that they and their kids can be resilient in this.
Resilience definitely needed, especially when it comes to younger school children, where parents really need to be taking the lead here in educating their kids. And that's just not something that might magically go away come September as we learn more about how we can deal with this virus in larger school settings. Brenda Mahoney, ACMi News.